This is Charleston's retirement coach, Brandon Bowen.
There was this one particular article, a 58-year-old man, he wrote into an advice column on Kiplinger, and he was saying how he had unexpectedly inherited $650,000.
Ooh.
So his question was, does this change my retirement timeline? What do I do with it? How would you answer that question for him, Brandon? What factors also for somebody listening? There's two phases, I guess. One, if you get an unexpected inheritance, but the great wealth transfer is happening from baby boomers to the next generation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What to do if you know there's an inheritance coming? Are there preparation steps to take?
Yeah, so many times I would probably say 70 to 80% of the time I'll have clients that say, we know that we've got some money coming, right? Because my parents, they've saved well. They were part of the greatest generation. They never spent. They lived through the Great Depression,
a couple of world wars.
Yeah. And so they've got money that they've never spent. And I keep telling mom to spend it, but she won't spend it. We've got her in a nice assisted living or whatever.
Yep.
So they'll say, I know I've got some, but I'm like, okay, well, we don't plan for that right now. Hopefully, she has a long life or he has a long life, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But when you do have that inheritance, yes, that does create, I would say, options for retirement. So what I want you to think about is we just call a timeout. Okay, if that were to happen, call a timeout. Even if it just happened recently, right? And the money hasn't transferred over yet, because that's a part of what we have to talk about. Okay, is how do we get that money over? Right? Think about the tax implications of this stuff. Yeah. How does the money, if it was in mom or dad's, IRA, okay, tax deferred money, well, there's specific things that we've got to do. You've got to have a beneficiary IRA set up for that money. Okay.
Got it. Okay.
What if, you then sell mom or dad's house? Okay. Then, so we got to talk about all this stuff, these inheritance. So basically think of it as a timeout. So assuming that you've already had a plan in place, which this was the case for one of my clients. Let me tell you about this story here.
Okay.
So he had been a client for, I would say, probably a year by this point. And so then he calls me up and he says, hey, Brandon, my brother actually just passed away unexpectedly. Mm-hmm. So that was, really tough for him. But he came in and he's like, Brandon, we've got the money moved over. I worked with the advisor over there. We've got the money over here. But now, this $400,000 that I now have, I just, what do I do? I would love to have more income. And I was like, okay, perfect. Cause that was my next question is what would you like to see? And so that's probably the first place that I would start with everyone. I would say, okay, do you have enough income or, would you like a little bit more?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for him, he said, yes, I want more. And I was like, okay, well, we could do, how's $28,000 a year extra sound? In addition to the income plan that we had already set up for him. Mm-hmm. And he was like, oh my gosh. Yes, that's great. And so he's been taking, more trips, things like that, that $28,000. And two, here's the nice thing about it is that extra income and these additional trips or different things that you can do. It's almost like as a tribute to your mom or dad or brother, right? Mm-hmm. Yes, you wish they were still here, but you can do these things and you can think of them and thank them, right? And be appreciative for that and kind of wish that maybe they would have enjoyed their money a little more, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, so he's got a little bit extra income there. But if you listening, okay, maybe you don't need more income. Well, we might say then, what about extra growth? Okay, if you've got enough income coming in, because you've got a solid plan going on and you might go, well, Brandon, I don't need any more income. But what would be nice is if, we look at maybe what are some tax moves that we can make with this money, right?
Got it.
Can we get it over into a Roth IRA so that our growth from now on is completely tax free, right? The government can't touch it inside of a Roth IRA. It's beautiful. So let's look at strategies, some tax moves that we can make. But then, yes, pursuing growth, that's really, really fun, really exciting. When you know that you've got enough income, right? That's your first objective in retirement planning, is making sure we have enough income in there, enough income coming in. Secondly, I would say make sure we're doing all of our needed tax moves. Make sure our income is tax efficient, okay? But if your income has come down from compared to your working years, those latter years when you were probably the highest income earner, of your life, when you go to retire, a lot of times that income does come down a little bit. And that gives us, opportunities for tax planning. Okay. For tax moves. So that's our second objective that we do with every client is what are some tax moves? I don't want you to be walking past, opportunities. And now we've got with the big, beautiful bill. Okay. What does that mean for your retirement? Okay.
Yeah.
What are some moves that we could be making right now with these tax brackets here? Now, if our income has come down, we might do some Roth conversions. Okay. So we're going to look at that, look at your tax strategies. Okay. The third thing is we're going to pursue, if all of those are good, if you would put a check mark in that box, then, okay, what are some things that we would do for growth? Are there better growth strategies out there? And so of course, nobody knows what the future is going to bring with the stock market, but we do have strategies that are 100% growth focused.
Okay. Yep.
Individual stock portfolios. Those are really nice a lot of times where we can go out there and here's where I haven't talked about our market guard portfolios very much, but we have tremendous portfolios that go out there and try to pick the 100 best growth oriented companies. Okay. And so this is where it's going to make trades based on what's going on in the market every day. It's going to look at, okay, do we like our mix right here? Or do we want to drop somebody and pick up another company? Okay. Right. With NVIDIA, Tesla, all these things that are going on, this Bitcoin, all this crypto, right? All this AI. There's so many things that you can.
So much. Yeah. And it just continues to grow that landscape. There's just more and more and more every day.
I know. And if you're just watching headlines, it's kind of clickbait right now, right?
Yeah.
If you're just scrolling through Facebook and all this stuff or CNBC and you're looking at it, well, all you feel is FOMO.
Yep.
You feel like you're like the last one to get on board with this stuff.
FOMO, but also it's like a weird thing. FOMO in combination with analysis paralysis because you don't want to miss out, but you also don't know. That's what I feel a lot of times anyway. I don't want to miss out, but I have no idea where to begin.
Right.
And then you just freeze.
Right. You freeze. And then like the better time to enter this stuff is when it's like, scary. Yep. When it's been selling off and going down, down,
and that's
down.
counterintuitive. Your fight or flight primal instinct is kicking in going, don't do that.
Things are way down, and I'm like, hey, let's buy it. And people are like, are you crazy, Brandon? Look at it. It's down 10, 12%. I'm like, exactly.
You're like, this is great.
You don't need this money right now, right? Because again, let me go back. If your income is squared away, right? You've got enough income coming in. You're doing your tax moves. With this money, we want to look at what are some very smart. Think if you were like Warren Buffett. If you were somebody and had all this money and you didn't need it right now or next month or next quarter, right, to pay your bills, then yes, we want to look at where are the opportunities. That's why one of our portfolios is called the opportunity model. Okay. Mm-hmm. So we've got a portfolio that's built for where can we find the opportunities for maybe in 3, 4, 5 years, you're going to look back and go like, that is what I'm talking about, Brandon. I love what I'm seeing in that portfolio there because we're taking this risk and we're doing it separate from your peace of mind money. Okay. Right? Your standard of living. That's over there. That money has guardrails up on it. Yeah. It's got a one-way valve. You've got plenty of income coming in. We're talking about if we're going to pursue growth, let's do it maybe in a Roth account. Let's do it in something where we can be very tax efficient, maybe try to pursue long-term capital gains, right? So there are ways. That's the value that I can bring to your portfolio. So if you know that you don't have anything close to this, or maybe you want to just see where are you maybe missing the boat, then you deserve this complimentary second opinion. A complimentary second opinion, that's what I do every time when people call in from the show, is we start with a full-blown second opinion on what you have, right? Yep. An analysis on what you have. And then I can show you, hey, here's where I think you could improve because you're probably doing some things well, but then there's maybe some areas that could benefit from some special attention, right?
Or some places that you're doing things well. And here's a place that was good while you were in your growth years, but now we've got a shift for retirement. So this is a space where we need to take what's happening here and now shift to thinking about income.
That's right. And especially if you've just gotten this inheritance.
Yeah.
If that's just come in and it's, maybe you've sold a house. Right, you've downsized and you sold your big house because things are changing.
You bought 30 years ago and the value of it's gone through the roof, and suddenly you were sitting on an extra $200,000 cash.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God. See, we complain about, of course, the the cost of a house and how it's gone up so much. But that is one nice thing here in Charleston this money people have flocked from the north, down here. I mean, and so our house values, our home values have gone up tremendously, exponentially.
Yep.
Right. And so if you're downsizing and getting something smaller, which there's a lot of peace of mind with that, right? You don't have a big yard to take care of. You know, all these things. You don't have 6 bedrooms to keep up with, right? So if you do have some of that, what I find is a lot of times people have put that in the bank and it's sitting at the bank, maybe in a CD, or worse off, just sitting in, cash. Right.
Yep.
I call that lazy money. And it is time we gotta put that money to work. It is time. Let's go. Get up. We're going to put you to work. Right. There are several strategies. We don't have to risk it. If you're not comfortable with that, we can do stuff that is very measured. Okay. But that money your money should never retire. Okay. Let's put that money to work. So if you've got an inheritance or you sold something, your business, maybe you sold some land. There's so many things where you might have that influx of money. So I want to give you this complimentary second opinion. 843-890-2400. 843-890-2400. If you've saved $500,000 or more, or maybe you've got an inheritance coming, or an injection of cash coming, right? So now is the time. Let's put this plan together before you feel all this pressure and weight of what do I do with this money, right? I don't want to make the wrong decision with this money. So pick up the phone. We have 5 appointments available. We leave room for 5 every week, and I would love for you to grab one of those right now. Let's have an honest conversation of what you're doing now, and then our second opinion, we can show you maybe some potential moves that might be in your best interest. 843-890-2400.
I love that, what you just said, Brandon. Your money should never retire. That is such a poignant statement. You retire. Your money doesn't.
Yes.
And that's why you need to put it in a plan to do the things you need it to do to not retire, to not be lazy in your retirement. Brandon and his team ready to create that plan for you. Again, that number to dial, 843-890-2400 for your second opinion on your retirement savings and investments. 843-890-2400. If you're within 5 to 10 years of retirement, if you've saved $500,000 or more, this is where you're really going to see the power of this kind of planning take effect. And at Bowen Wealth, ready to offer you this second opinion complimentary. 843-890-2400. Call to put a time on the calendar. You can also text the word opinion to that number, and we'll help get you scheduled that way as well. 843-890-2400.
Thanks for listening to Charleston's Retirement Coach Podcast with Brandon Bowen. To learn more, visit bowenwealth.com and join Brandon for his radio show, Charleston's Retirement Coach, Saturdays at 11 a.m. on 94.3 WSC.
Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if J. Brandon Bowen is licensed in your state, please call 843-203-2030. J. Brandon Bowen is an investment advisor representative of Bowen Wealth, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendation to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. J. Brandon Bowen is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Bowen Wealth, LLC, insurance licensed in South Carolina. Market Guard is a registered investment advisor with the SEC and provides model portfolios only to Impact Partnership Wealth. Market Guard makes no implied warranties or representations and is not liable for any data presented.